Half-time news then at the John Smith Stadium. Ravage van La Parra put Huddersfield in front against West Brom. It's goalless in the North East. That's Newcastle and Bournemouth. Still waiting for the first goal at St Mary's, Southampton and Burnley. But there has been a goal at the Liberty Stadium. Glenn Murray's 4th in 3 has given Brighton the lead against Swansea.
So in Fantasy Premier League, it's been a fairly quiet first half, seeing as the most owned players are in action tomorrow. However, 57% of Rob Elliott's 1.4 million owners have actually benched him today. Thankfully, I haven't, because he's currently on for a clean sheet. And Glenn Murray, as you just heard there, his 4th goal in 3 games will please just the 1.1% of fantasy managers that own him. I'll keep you up to date with the points in the second half. But just to update for you from the National League, there's only one game in action today, and it's Eastleigh 1, Chester 0 at half-time. And if Eastleigh win today, they'll move up 4 places in the National League.
Into the Championship then at the break. Bristol City beat Cardiff. That was the early kick-off at Ashton Gate, so that's a result. To the half-time scores, Adam Reach and Jordan Rhodes have put Sheffield Wednesday 2 up at Aston Villa, surprisingly. Bottom side Bolton 2 up against Norwich, and Reading 2 up inside the opening 13 minutes away at Derby. Sheffield United trailed to a Kamil Grosicki goal at Bramall Lane, so some surprises in the Championship at half-time. In the FA Cup then, Mansfield won 3-1 at Shore Lane earlier to end the Northern Premier League side's cup run. Barnet lead at Blackburn, a goal from Simeon Akinola. Boreham Wood of the National League are holding League One Blackpool, and National League Maidstone 3 up at Cheltenham. Doncaster have come from 2 down to draw level with Ebbsfleet of the National League. Forest Green lead Macclesfield 1-0. Slough lead Gainsborough through a Matthew Lynch goal. Steve Watson's Gateshead 2 up against Chelmsford. Luton lead Portsmouth by 1-0. And Rochdale 2 up against Bromley of the National League. League One leader Shrewsbury 2 up against Aldershot. Stevenage 1 up against Nantwich of the 7th tier. Matt Godden with the goal there. And Harry Kewell's Crawley drawing 1-1 with Wigan. In Scotland, Celtic won 4-0 at St Johnstone earlier to extend their domestic unbeaten run to a record-breaking 63 games now. It's 1-1 Hamilton and Aberdeen. Hibs scored inside the opening minute against Dundee, but it's 1-1 at Easter Road, and Rangers 2 up against Partick. And Jake Humphries at the London Stadium. For us, it's our live game coming up a little bit later. West Ham against Liverpool.
Indeed I am, thank you very much. Welcome along. Stephen and Frank alongside us this afternoon. First time you've been here?
Yeah, it's a football stadium. I was lucky enough to come to the Olympics and watch the athletics. But
of course you were.
Of course, VIP.
What do you make of it? Just drop that in there, the VIP bomb. Yeah. What do you make of this place? It's incredible, isn't it?
It is. It's an amazing stadium. And I think that's a problem for West Ham, because I think a lot of players and teams come here. They like the surroundings. It's very impressive. And it certainly motivates you as a player.
We can't keep talking about this, though, can we? That this isn't the right stadium for West Ham. You know, that has to be a conversation in the past now. They've just got to get used to this and win games here. And they've done OK at home.
It remains a factor, though, Jake. I think they sell it out, which is great for the club, but you don't have that intense atmosphere. Upton Park made it very difficult for opponents to come and made it nasty. It was a really hostile feeling that helped the team here. The problem is on the pitch how they're playing. I think their recruitment in the summer, the players they brought in hadn't been the players that they wanted, or they hadn't got Arnautovic on the bench last game. Chicharito scored a couple of goals, but where they are in the table makes it very difficult, because the atmosphere has been struggling lately. So the players need to get the crowd going.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to hear from Slaven Bilic in the build-up to this programme, and he will tell us that the players have the desire to play for West Ham. So is it a quality issue here?
Oh, I think so. I mean, listen, expectations, I don't know where they are or where they should be for West Ham. I don't think it's top of the table, to be honest. I mean, a lot of teams are spending a lot of money now. West Ham have spent some money, but I think man for man, their squad, they're going to be pretty happy to say they're going to stay in the league this year and hopefully get towards mid-table. But I think they are performing below par so far, so the players do have to improve. I feel a bit sorry for Slaven Bilic, because he's getting a lot of the whack for this and everyone's looking at him, but I think the players do need to perform.
It was ever the life of the manager, wasn't it? Jurgen Klopp has also been through the ringer this season as far as the press and the criticism is concerned. Not least these away goals, 15 conceded so far, more than any other team in the division. Can't afford that to happen today. It starts by not conceding this afternoon, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. I'm sure the manager's going to be looking for the perfect defensive performance. Liverpool have conceded too many goals on the road. That's a fact. And obviously Manchester City game was a heavy scoring game when they went down to 10 men. But even still, they have been leaky, they've been flaky at times, and they need to put in a very strong performance. I think the difference in both teams today is there's a lot of pressure on the West Ham manager. He's getting a lot of the blame. At Liverpool, it's different. I think the pressure's on the individual players. the defenders, and they need to step up and be relied upon.
OK, we shall find out who steps up this afternoon. Of course, you can join us from 5 o'clock. This one kicks off at 5:30, and we will hear from both managers in the build-up to this one, and, of course, plenty from these guys as well. We're live till 9 o'clock here this evening. See you a bit later.
Thanks, Jake. Look forward to that. Let's hear from our fan reporters then from the lunchtime game. It was a really exciting game as well at Stoke. It finished 2-2 with Leicester. Here's what they have to say.
So there it is, Stoke City 2, Leicester City 2. I think that's the default result for this fixture. It's been 2-2 now the last 3 seasons.
Nothing really going forward and so slow until Peter Crouch came on. Obviously not the fastest player, but we changed and went more direct, and that made the real difference. He caused havoc in defence, scored a goal, he never lets us down. I think he should get more time for Stoke, and over the years has probably been overlooked by England a little bit too much. His time has gone for England, but I'd like to see him getting more game time for Stoke. A good point for Stoke, and could have won it with the very last touch of the game.
Chris, probably is a good point for Stoke because they're behind twice. They've been poor at home this season. Had a big win at Watford last weekend. I know going into the game they would have thought, right, we should win this. But having been behind twice...
Yeah, I think, you have to say it was a good point. Stoke have conceded too many goals this season, and that's been their biggest problem. But they stuck at it today. And, Peter Crouch, how many times has he come up with crucial goals throughout his career? But... it's so interesting, the bottom of the league. We're trying to pick 3 teams this early in the season, who are going to get relegated, and it is impossible.
Demarai Gray, Jermaine, for Leicester. I watched him, you go, why did Craig Shakespeare not give him more of a go?
I think Craig Shakespeare was just trying to get back to that season they won the league and just kind of get back to that type of form. And in all honesty, I think it's doing a disservice to Mark O'Brien and the performances that he was putting in on a regular basis, because you're essentially saying, well, Demarai Gray should play and Mark O'Brien should be dropped with Mahrez playing on the other wing. Now, he's found a way to get them both in there. Demarai Gray is a fantastic talent, and it looks like he's taking his opportunities because he played very well last week and he's played well again today.
Let's go back to one of our cup games and Danny Jameson with the Slough manager for us this afternoon.
John, that first half pretty much gone to plan so far?
Yeah, the lads have been outstanding. I think we've been the better side. It's tough. We've got the sun in our eyes, the wind, but we've coped with it really well. I thought we scored a fantastic goal. I think we've looked the more threatening side. It's only half, but it's half the job done at the minute. I think we've been excellent.
Any worries that it's only one at half-time? Had 2 really big chances before half-time.
We'd like to have got the second. I think our plays deserved it, and no 2 halves of football are ever the same. I'm sure they're going to come up out pumped up. They've come from behind in recent games, so we've got to do the job again second half.
What are you going to go and say to them at half-time?
Just keep doing the right things. I think our decision-making's been great. We've just got to keep doing it. I think we've got another goal or 2 in us.
Good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Slough are in the 7th tier. They are top of the Evo-Stik Southern Premier, up against Gainsborough, who are in the 6th tier, 18th in National League North. It'll be a big win for Slough. It would equal their best ever FA Cup performance if they could make it through to the second round. No doubt about goal of the day. There have only been 2, but no doubt about goal of the day. Even if there have been 22, Van La Parra's goal, Robbie, absolutely fantastic.
I'll tell you what, Matt.
Quickly taken free kick by Moy got it going.
I think a few West Brom fans might be complaining about this, because looking at, they took the quick free kick, Moy, but I think the foul should have been the other way. I thought the foul was committed by the Huddersfield player on Rodriguez.
Yeah, but still a long way to go, wasn't there?
There is,
through Poitre Malone, Van La Parra.
The referee obviously decided to give it to Huddersfield. Yeah, he took it quick, worked it out wide, and then you can question, should Jake Livermore have closed Van La Parra down quicker? Or just closed him down? It was like a lazy kind of trying to throw his left leg out to block it. One step, curled in top corner, great goal.
Yeah. OK, let's go to Ebbsfleet then. Ben Mundy is there. Quite a first half there. Ebbsfleet were 2 up. It's 2-2 at the break. Ben's got the Ebbsfleet manager with him.
Yes, and the second half is just about to kick off. As you say, Ebbsfleet were 2 up and then conceded twice in stoppage time. So a big half-time team talk for this man here, Ebbsfleet United manager Daryl McMahon. What have you said in there?
I tried to pick the players up, really. Obviously, they're a little bit down after conceding 2 so late on half, and they're playing so well. But listen, we would have taken a draw at half-time, really, to take it in the second half. So we're looking forward to the second half now.
What will you do differently in this second half? Anything?
Not a lot. I think we've played very well in the first half. Probably switched off the last 2 minutes, and we've been done by real quality as well.
OK, I'll let you get back into position. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mark, in the studio.
Right, feisty start at Swansea. We're going to go to Colchester in a moment as well. Could be a surprise there. Swansea, though.
Yeah, Fernandez riding his luck again. In all honesty, I think the referee's got it right. I don't think this is a second yellow at all. But again, he's come right, well, not come right through, but he's putting a challenge into the back of Glenn Murray, who's gone over. So Look, I'd be surprised if there weren't some harsh words said, you know, in that Swansea dressing room. I don't feel like they've got close to anybody. I don't think they look strong enough. They didn't have a shot, Hoogers, in that first half. Not a shot. They're at home, under pressure already. You're supposed to have put out this more attacking style of play. To not have a shot on target, or even a shot, is ridiculous. And they just, like I said, I think it's like just weakness they look like they have to them today. It's not good.
Was he lucky there, Chris, not to go?
No, not at all. I think people get, misunderstand sometimes that when you're on a yellow card, your next foul is a second yellow and you should be sent off. It's just, it's a collision, it's a simple foul. But, he's got to be very careful now.
You won't get away with too many more of them, will he, though?
Not if he carries on the way he's going, no.
Right, could be a surprise at Colchester, the Western Homes Community Stadium. Reswin Chowdhury.
Yes, hello. Well, would you believe it? The non-league visitors have taken the lead. It's Colchester United 0, Oxford City 1. This happened straight after the whistle for the second half. Oxford United has been looking bright all throughout the first half. Matt Patterson with the goal after an assist from the number 11. But they are looking really, really strong here, Colchester United, with quite a bit of work to do. They were also very strong in the first half. Of course, a number of shots on targets from both sides. But it is Colchester United 0, Oxford City 1.
So Oxford City in front there. Rangers look like they've wrapped it up, Stephen Craigan, already.
Mark, it's easy street. Within 2 minutes of the second half starting, it's 3-0 for Rangers. Jordan Turnbull, the Partick Thistle left back, tried to head back to his goalkeeper Thomas Journey from about 40 yards. Not enough pace on the ball, and Josh Windass from the left-hand side gambled. He got on the end of it, put it through Journey's legs, and it really is a long way back for the away side Partick Thistle. 3-0 Rangers.
Chris, how do you read the Rangers managerial situation? There was what? Was it the Daily Record today? There was a headline. Yeah. Graham Mertes, he was not saying he's Zidane, but Zidane was in the headline somewhere.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the point he was making is Zidane was a youth team coach or a lower coach, and then he got the job. Look, Graham Mertes did well when he got the caretaker job last season. He got a draw at Celtic, and he sets the team up well. Would they give it to him? A possibility, but the sensible thing for Rangers to do would be to get Derek McInnes. He has an affiliation with the club. He used to play at the club. Knows Scottish football well. I believe the clause is £800,000, and they should stump the money up. They have got the money. Go and get Derek McInnes.
Yeah. Robbie, you ever sent off for 2 yellow cards?
Yeah, and I was interested about what Chris was saying there about the second yellow card has to be significant after getting the first yellow. And he set me off a handball in the middle of the park when I was turning the other way. So, saying stuff is all right, but actually implementing it is ridiculous.
How long have you been building up Flat for? About 15 years.
Listen, I've showed it to about 100 people, and all 100 people have said it was never a second yellow card.
Chris, you have the right to reply on this programme.
I'm just concerned about the 50 he got away with.
Yeah.
Well, QPR fans will have come into today's game against Nottingham Forest with a bit of confidence, actually, because they beat Wolves a week ago. They beat Sheffield United in the week, but their away form this league has been atrocious. They're yet to win in the league away from home this season. And Super Hoops says embarrassment of an away record never gets better, nothing to be pleased about, really. 1 step forward, 15 steps back. Gary Marsh says we were looking good up until that first goal. They now trail by 2-0 against Forest. Not impossible to turn this around, though. The troops need to be rallied. And based on the last 2 performances that were, of course, at home, there could be a turnaround in this game.
Yeah, I spoke to Ian Holloway in the week, and he was very happy about the way they played those back-to-back wins against Wolves and Sheffield United. But as Jules says, the away form is different. Rafa Benitez on the touchline, a lot of gesticulations, but there's a lot of pointing in this from Rafa.
Yeah,
what's eating
I think he's just frustrated. I think Newcastle second half started really well. They had a couple of corners. Joselu just had one to headed over the bar, keeper saved, and I think it's more of a frustration that they're having so much possession and just can't get that final third and not being clinical enough.
Right, we heard from the Slough manager John Underwood a few moments ago with Danny Jameson. Danny, what's the situation now in that cup tie?
Well, there's a second goal for Slough. Gainsborough 0, Slough Town 2. It's that man, Matthew Lynch again. If his first goal was good, this one is even better. Loose ball on the edge of the D. He steps onto it, squat. It doesn't even take a touch and thumps it into the far top corner. It's Gainsborough 0, Slough 2.
And it's AFC Fylde 2, Kidderminster 0. Tammy Abraham called up into the
Oh,
England
what a
squad
chance.
this
What
week.
a
Wilson's missed a great chance. Callum Wilson misses for Bournemouth.
As I say, I was talking about it's all been Newcastle. And I said, what Bournemouth are doing, their counter-attack and balls down, there's so much space, he gets played inside, he's got 1v1, takes it onto his left foot and just shanks it. He's got to hit the target. If he hits the target, he scores.
Comfortably onside.
And Eddie Howe will be absolutely fuming. And someone like Callum Wilson will expect to score.
Why does he take it on his left foot? Sean, he's on his right foot. If he takes one more touch across the defender,
he's got to go across, yeah. I mean, you could go either way. I mean, you go across the defender, he clips your heels, you get a penalty.
He's not a natural finisher.
He's not a natural finisher. He's a bit raw, but you expect him to score from
But as you said, cut across, as Robbie says, then just try and roll it.
In fairness to him, I think he was aware there was a defender coming back. Had he taken another touch, he would have let him in to try and tackle him. So he shifted it on his left. But he's got to finish.
Right, Tammy Abraham in the England squad. Couple of chances for him, Jermaine.
Yeah, Swansea have finally shown a little bit of something at the start of this second half. It all started with Brighton overplaying. Tom Carroll on the left-hand side wins the ball, gets it into Dyer, who passes it to Tammy Abraham, who kind of goes in one-on-one with the keeper. Ryan comes out really well, spreads himself, and he tries to dink it over him, didn't quite get enough height on it. And then there was just a situation from a corner, ball's bouncing around, and he's tried to strike it in on goal. He's been challenged very strongly, 50-50, and fairly, I'd have to say, by, I think it's Dunk again, and I think Abraham is the one that's come off worse.
Yeah, Dunk is grimacing, but Abraham's come off worse, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in that situation when you go and strike a ball cleanly, and obviously if they clear it, you end up hitting their studs, and I'm pretty sure that's the situation he's in. So.
And Wilfred Bonney's not on the bench because he's in a big coat, sitting in the dugout, so there's no option there.
There's another story to that. Yeah.
Brad Walker, first goal for Crewe. Abraham is up very gingerly. He'll want to be fit to carry on and, of course, to meet up with England. Crewe won, Rotherham won that Brad Walker goal. We'll take a break.